Alright guys, this is my 1992 Honda Prelude 4th gen, and recently it has got the common problem of bouncy idle or idle surge, whatever you want to call it. You see it picks up in the revs and then cuts them and picks back up and cuts them, and it will just go like this just forever. So in today's video we are showing you how to take off the IAC, clean it and put it back in. So it's just this little thing here, just 2 bolts there, 12mm bolts, and what it is the intake air control valve, and they're pretty common for getting clogged up and just messing up the thing, making it seem like someone's putting their foot on and off the accelerator, giving it a weird lumpy idle. Okay, so I've got both of these 2 bolts here loose. I was just sitting there, but before you want to take them out all the way, there's this clip here that you want to take out so it's not any pressure on that, and then there's this hose here which goes down underneath into the bottom there, and there's also another one under there that you can't see yet. So you want to take out this clip here and just disconnect this one up here, and then take out one of these bolts, probably this one, and then kind of lift it up, or take them both out, lift it up, and then take out the little connector on the bottom. Right, well this one here wasn't wanting to come out, so what I'm going to do now is just take off both the bolts, pull out the sensor, and then I'll just disconnect the 2 lines from the bottom. Okay, I've got the 2 bolts out that was holding it in now, and you can just see the 2 little clamps there and there at the bottom that you just need to take off in order to free it out, and I can already see how corroded and rusted it is back there. So when taking off this curved one here, you can already see it starting to leak out. Coolant will be ready, so just coolant will come out, so just be ready to just hold it upright so it doesn't squirt everywhere. Okay, so we've got the IAC sensor all out of the car now, and we can just see on these 2 things here how corroded that is. So what I'm going to use is just a little bit of degreaser with just some toilet paper, and I'm just going to clean up this bit here, and then these 3 bolts here are all going to come off, but I'll record that bit. Well, I've cleaned up these things here and tried to get these bolts off, but they're just not coming off. It's probably been in there since the factory and they're just not coming off, but that's alright. So we're just going to try and give it a little clean, so you can see how black and gunky that is there. So what you want to use is carburetor or throttle body cleaner, but I don't have any of that, so I'm just going to use this degreaser, which I'm not exactly sure if it will work as good, but you know, I'll give it a go. So you just want to spray it in there and give it a wee scrub and let it self drain out. I'm going to use a little bit of toilet paper just to try and wipe that. Okay, so just after doing that, I've just gone and got a hose and just put some water through there as well, just to try and get out the degreaser, because I assume since it's supposed to have coolant in there, probably having degreaser in there isn't a good idea. And also just grabbed an old toothbrush and gave that a scrub, and you can see how much clearer that little mesh in there is, which should hopefully allow it not to get clogged up anymore. But if you guys can take off this back thing, I would definitely recommend doing that so it can drain out easier, because I'm going to have to wait a couple minutes and for this to actually be able to dry up in there. But yeah, oh well. Okay, so it should be dry enough now, so now we're back in the car ready to put it back in. Before you put in any of the bolts, oh yeah, so there's a longer one and a shorter one. The longer one is the one at the top, and then the shorter one is the one that's the down one a bit further. So, but before you put in either of the bolts, you want to, those 2 things there, you want to put back in, then put in the top bolt to hold it in place while you figure out the bottom one, and then last step is to plug back in that little clip there into there. Everything's backed in and plugged up, so we're going to go and give it a start up now and see if this has been fixed. I actually have no idea if this will fix it, but it was worth a shot. Okay, didn't even fix it. Okay, well that didn't work. We could see it was still surging and having a bouncy idle, but I've just seen apparently that little, in the iacv sensor we just cleaned, there's a little Allen key fitting just on the side there that you're supposed to put it in and then turn that counterclockwise. That's for adjusting the thing. It gets out of adjustment, and apparently, so got to do that. So you have to do that when the car's running, so you can see. So I'm just going to start up the car super quick. Okay, well, I've just tried multiple different Allen keys to get in there, but it seems, for me, you guys might have the right tool, but for me, none of my tools are all too bulky to actually get in there and twist it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back out, same steps as before, and just get it out and then loosen it up a bit and then put it back in and do it all again. Well, loosening that was not easy because it was in between these two right here. That one was too small, that one was too big. So I ended up having to get like a sharp one and just banging it into it. But I've got it loose and I've got it bolted back in, plugged back in, and I find it easier to, a little tip, to put in the thing that you're going to turn it with. I've already loosened it enough so it's easy enough to turn, but you have to be able to adjust it to what you want. The car has to be running, but have that in and then start up the car, because these hoses down here get quite hot, so I think it would be easy to have that in. Now I'm going to go start it. Once it's running, give that a little rev so it gets the lumpy idle, and then I might have already, because I've loosened it and turned it left a bit, I might have already done enough that it might not do it anymore, or else I'll just keep going until it stops. I think that's how it works. Well, I've just started it up and I'm not getting any lumpy idle. I've given it just a little rev, but I'll give it another little one. Well, that seems to have fixed it. It's idling like it should. Just before it was being all lumpy, but now I put that in, and when I had it out, I turned it left just to loosen it so it was easy enough. But it looks like I've done it enough because it's smooth there. Seems to be idling quite high, but it's probably just cold. So I'll give it a few minutes and I'll check back in and see if that's done. Well, I've just taken it for a run. It's set operating temperature. It's all good now. The idles seems to be a little bit higher than what it usually idles at, but it's not lumpy at all anymore. It's not bouncy. It's a smooth idle. So there you go. I think that's how it's fixed it. Maybe because we turned it a little bit too much, which is why it's idling a little bit too high now. But just turn it enough until it stops idling, and then from there you can adjust that. Just adjust it depending where you want the idle, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope it helped.